Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I try to bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome my son, Brett Farmiloe, to the show. I've always been proud of my son, that's a given, but he's really onto something once again. After getting his accounting degree from the University of Arizona, he founded Pursue the Passion. He traveled 16,000 miles across 38 states in an old RV to interview over 300 people about their career paths, which he turned into a book. He then spent 10 years building his own business, Marketers, a digital marketing agency, which he later sold. A little over a year ago, he founded Terkel, which powers Q&A content for the open web. He's a published author, keynote speaker, and a contributor to Forbes, Thunderbird, Huffington Post, Time Magazine, and more. Brett, welcome back to the Top Gun Show.
Dad, good to be here. I wouldn't rather be anywhere else in the world than hanging with you.
And I feel the same way about you, man. It's fun to have you on. Well, in the first interview that I had you on the Top Gun Show, you were running Marketers and absolutely killing it in the digital marketing space. But you sold it to start Terkel. Now, who is Terkel and what do they do?
Yep. So Terkel is a Q&A site. More than 10,000 marketing professionals answer questions on Terkel to get their insights published in articles on sites like Fast Company, American Express, and 500 other sites. And so we've had over 175,000 answers submitted in 2022. And what we're looking to do is democratize thought leadership by giving voice to the uncelebrated.
Well, that's cool. Now, are there other companies that are doing that? And what's the unmet need in the marketplace that Terkel addresses?
So in the last 10 years of running a marketing agency, the hardest challenge that we had was building visibility online for small businesses. There's more marketing agencies and coffee shops in the US, and the competition to build visibility online is very intense. And so we founded Terkel as an internal solution to our biggest challenge, where you could go onto Terkel, share your expertise, and in little as 4 minutes of answering a question, get your insight published in more than 500 different places. So really it's about building visibility online. And since it's a marketplace, the other side of our marketplace is media companies. Those media companies need an outsourced content commerce solution, and that's where Terkel can fill the need.
Now, this question, I didn't know I was going to ask you, but can anybody go on to Terkel and fill out the questions and answer questions, or do you have to qualify to be on it?
Yeah, anyone can show up, share their expertise. You know, going back to the road trip that you're talking about, the biggest takeaway from traveling 16,000 miles, interviewing 300 people, was that people don't have a meaningful outlet to share their life's accumulations and expertise. And so Terkel is essentially that democratized platform that you could show up, find something that's relevant, and share, not everyone gets to be on the Top Gun Show. Not everyone gets to talk about what they've accumulated. So Terkel is an outlet for that.
That you really made a good point. I mean, everyone wants to be on the Top Gun Show, but it's easier to go on Terkel and get published, right? How does Terkel work? I mean, who does it benefit? But do you have a bunch of elves sitting around and sending out content? I mean, how does it work?
So a media company will show up to Terkel, ask a question. Then experts will answer the question. On average, we get about 42 answers per question that's on Terkel. Terkel will then determine the top experts to be answering that question. So we've got a bunch of different algorithms that are in place that select the best answers, convert those answers into a full-length article, and give that article back to the media company to publish on their website.
So it really benefits the person who's answering the questions because they get elevated as a source of knowledge in that capacity, but also for the media companies because they need content, right?
Yep. So the media companies can grow their web traffic, establish a new line of revenue generation, and then the experts who are answering the questions are able to build visibility online and develop themselves as thought leaders. That's
amazing. And you can find out more by going to Terkel.io?
Terkel.io, Terkel.io.
All right. Well, the last question, Brett, that I want to ask you is I want to take you back to the Pursue the Passion road trip. one of the most fun times you've had in your life. Although it's interesting how everything you've done has led to Terkel. They all have kind of woven together. But back to pursue the passion. Who's the most fascinating person that you've ever interviewed, and what was their advice?
So I'll answer that in two ways. First one, that's 15 years later after getting off the road and getting out of an RV and into where I'm at now. The ones that still stick with me are the entrepreneurs that were very uncertain about their startups at the time that we interviewed them and went on to achieve some really great things. So, for example, Matt Flannery from Kiva, at the time that we interviewed him, I think that it was like a three-person startup. He was sleeping under his desk, like really grinding. And I'll never forget when we interviewed him, so uncertain about where it was going to go. 2 months later, he texted us in Chicago and was like, "Hey, are you guys in Chicago? Because I think I just saw your RV." I'm like, "Yeah, we're here. What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on Oprah." And it's like, it's in that 2 months
Oh, wow.
time span. So I think the entrepreneurs who are in the early stages are one that still sticks with me. The other one that I was going to say is a goat farmer in rural Tennessee who raised fainting goats. And I found out that baby fainting goats don't faint because they haven't yet learned fear. And so basically the adults, because they've learned fear, when they get fearful, they have a shot of adrenaline that freezes up and causes them sometimes to fall over. So YouTube it. But the baby fainting goats are fearless. And the thing that I took away from that one is just to channel your baby fainting goat on the daily, so you can achieve great things, not paralyze yourself, when faced with uncertainties, and keep persevering.
Wow, that is that's a great answer. I had no idea that was coming. That's amazing. So you need to channel your baby fainting goat as you're continuing with your startup until you. Well, I mean, this is better than Oprah. But I mean, once you've gone to the Top Gun show and then Oprah calls you, use your baby fainting goat power.
There you go. Make it happen.
All right, my son. Well, hey, I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. It's an honor to have you on my show. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on the Top Gun show.
Appreciate you having me, Dad. Love you, man.
Love you too. Thanks for watching, everybody.